Every single day, people make the effort to walk consistently, 30 minutes, sometimes more, and yet they end up with knee pain, chronic fatigue, numbness in their legs, and a general feeling of getting worse, not better. The first question worth asking is always the same. How exactly are you walking? Because the problem almost never is that people walk too little. The problem is that they walk wrong. And wrong walking isn't just wasted effort. It actively destroys your joints, wrecks your posture, overloads your cardiovascular system, and drives chronic inflammation through your tissues. If you're new here, welcome to Health is Golden, where we bring you the health information that actually matters in plain language. Hit subscribe right now and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that could protect your health. Well, let's start with the foundation. Why is walking after 50 not just a pleasant stroll, but a genuine medical necessity? Because after 50, your body launches an entire cascade of physiological changes. They are predictable, they are measurable, and you cannot afford to ignore them. The first change, muscle mass begins to disappear. This process has a name, sarcopenia. That means the gradual, age-related loss of muscle tissue. After 50, you lose roughly 1 to 2% of your total muscle mass every single year. That sounds manageable on paper, but over 10 years, that's a loss of 15 to 20% of your total muscle. And muscle is not just about strength. Muscle stabilizes your joints. Muscle regulates your blood sugar. Muscle holds your posture upright. Muscle gives you balance when you walk. Lose enough of it and everything downstream starts to fall apart. The second change, your joints stiffen. Cartilage, the smooth cushioning tissue at the end of your bones, has no blood supply of its own. It gets its nutrition exclusively through movement. Without regular movement, cartilage literally starves. It thins out, loses elasticity, and eventually begins to break down. That breakdown is what we call osteoarthritis, and it is not inevitable, but you can absolutely accelerate it with the wrong habits. The third change, your metabolism slows down. Your basal metabolic rate, the number of calories your body burns just to keep itself alive at rest, drops by roughly 2 to 3% every 10 years after 50. That means the exact same lifestyle that kept your weight stable at 30 will cause you to gain weight at 55. Not because you changed anything, because your body changed. The fourth change, circulation becomes less efficient. Your blood vessel walls gradually lose elasticity. Peripheral circulation, blood flow to the legs, the feet, the small vessels, deteriorates. This is exactly why so many people over 50 notice cold feet, nighttime leg cramps, and a heavy, tired feeling in their lower legs by the end of the day. Here's the critical point. Walking works on all four of those systems at once. It activates muscle, it triggers cartilage nutrition through movement, it accelerates metabolism, it improves circulation. Multiple studies confirm that people who walk regularly have significantly lower rates of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and cognitive decline. And this is the part nobody tells you. All of that only works when you walk correctly. Walk the wrong way and you don't get a smaller benefit. You get a new problem on top of the old ones. Let's go through every major mistake one by one. Mistake number 1, you start your walk too fast. This is probably the single most common mistake across every age group and every fitness level. People step outside and immediately hit full pace. It seems logical. Why waste time warming up when you could just get moving? But your body is not a car. You don't just turn a key and have everything running at full capacity. Your body needs time to shift from rest to movement, and that transition cannot be skipped without consequences. Here's what actually happens when you start too fast. First, your muscles are cold, and cold muscle fibers are far less elastic, meaning higher risk of micro tears. Those are tiny, microscopic rips in the muscle tissue that accumulate over time and produce chronic pain syndromes. Second, your joints are not yet lubricated. Synovial fluid, the protective liquid inside your joints, needs a few minutes of slow, gradual movement to spread evenly across the joint surface. Start fast, and your cartilage is running dry. Third, your cardiovascular system has not adapted. After 50, when your vessels are already less elastic, a sudden spike in intensity puts unnecessary stress on the vessel walls. The fix requires 0 additional time. Spend the first 3 to 5 minutes of every single walk moving slowly, deliberately slowly, almost leisurely slowly. That is your warm-up. After 5 minutes, your joints are lubricated, your muscles are warm, and your heart has settled into a working rhythm. Now you can pick up the pace. Did you know about this mistake before today? Drop a comment below. Just type yes if this is new information for you. We read every single comment on this channel. Mistake number 2, Wrong posture while walking. Go outside and watch people walk. Most of them are hunched forward, head jutting out in front, shoulders rounded down, eyes aimed at the ground a few feet ahead. This is not just unattractive, this is a biomechanical catastrophe for your spine and your respiratory system. An adult human head weighs about 11 pounds. When it sits directly over the spine in a neutral position, the neck muscles carry exactly that load. But when the head shifts forward by just 1 to 1.5 inches, the load on the cervical spine increases by roughly 3 times. At 2 inches of forward shift, the load multiplies 4 to 5 times. That means instead of carrying 11 pounds, your neck and upper back muscles are now holding 45 to 55 pounds continuously. Walk like that for 20 or 30 minutes and you generate chronic muscle tension in the neck, shoulders, and the base of the skull. This is why so many people come home from a walk with a neck ache. It is not a draft. It is not old age. It is posture. The second hit lands on your lungs. When your chest is compressed and your shoulders are rolled forward, your diaphragm cannot fully descend. Your lungs cannot fully expand. You breathe shallow, using only the top portion of your chest, receiving less oxygen than you should. Less oxygen means less energy for your muscles and your brain. You walk for 30 minutes and feel like you walked for an hour. People blame this on age or poor fitness. The real culprit is posture. There's a third consequence that almost nobody mentions. Bad walking posture disrupts the entire biomechanical chain. Head forward, the lower back compensates with an exaggerated arch, the pelvis tilts, and the knees begin operating at the wrong angle. The load on your knee and hip joints increases, not because you're old, but because of one specific, correctable, mechanical error. How to fix it? Picture a thin thread attached to the top of your head, pulling you gently upward, shoulders relaxed, drawn slightly back, eyes forward, on the horizon, not at the pavement, chin parallel to the ground, chest open. In this position, your lungs work at full capacity, your neck carries no excess load, and your spine distributes weight the way it was designed to. Mistake number 3, the wrong shoes. This is the topic people pay the least attention to, and that is a serious mistake because for your joints, there is nothing more important than what sits between your foot and the ground. 2 things happen with age that make footwear critically important. First, the fat pads on the soles of your feet thin out. These existed as natural shock absorbers. Now that natural cushioning is diminished, your shoes must pick up the slack. If they don't, every ground impact travels straight up the chain, ankle, knee, hip, lower back. Second, the muscles and ligaments of the foot weaken with age. The arch of the foot can begin to collapse, a condition called acquired flat foot, which changes the entire load angle on the knee and shifts the axis of the hip joint and increases spinal stress. What you need in a walking shoe: adequate cushioning in both the heel and the forefoot, proper arch support that follows the natural anatomy of your foot, and a flexible sole in the front portion so your foot can bend naturally at the ball during the heel to toe roll. One more critical point about shoes: wear. Many people are walking in sneakers they bought 2 or 3 years ago. The outside may look perfectly fine, but the cushioning materials in the midsole lose their shock, absorbing properties long before the shoe looks worn. If you walk regularly, replace your walking shoes approximately once a year. That is not a commercial pitch. That is osteoarthritis prevention. This video is free. Sharing it costs nothing. If this is helpful to you, I can share it on Facebook right now and tag someone who walks every day. You could be saving their joints. Mistake number 4, you walk rarely, but for long distances. When you do, this is an extremely common pattern. People are busy during the week, so they take one long walk on the weekend, an hour, sometimes 2. They come home tired, feel virtuous, and consider it their weekly fitness requirement. From a physiological standpoint, this approach is fundamentally wrong. Your body does not respond to isolated bursts of activity. It responds to repeated, consistent signals. Every time you walk, your body receives a message. Physical activity is the norm. In response to that message, your heart gradually becomes more efficient. Your blood vessels adapt, your muscles strengthen, and your metabolism stays active. This is called training adaptation, and it only occurs with the repeated, regular signals. One walk a week is too weak a signal. The body never adapts. The benefit stays minimal. Worse than that, a single long walk after several days of complete rest is a stress event for unprepared muscles. They are cold, unadapted, and on the following day, they hurt. People draw the wrong conclusion. Walking is not for me. My joints are weak. The joints are likely fine. The loading pattern is wrong. Evidence-based medicine is clear on this. 20 to 30 minutes of walking on most days of the week is the minimum effective dose for your cardiovascular system. Not one long Sunday walk, but 5 to 6 shorter walks per week. If you currently walk once a week, start with 3 times, not necessarily 20 minutes, and start with 10. After 2 weeks, or add 5 more minutes. Gradual progression here is not weakness, it is strategy. Mistake number 5, your arms are motionless. While you walk, most people either hold their arms stiff at their sides, let them hang, or shove them in their pockets. It seems comfortable. In reality, it strips away a significant portion of walking's benefits and disrupts movement mechanics. Walking is not just leg work. It is a whole body, cross-pattern movement. When your left leg steps forward, your right arm swings forward, and vice versa. This pattern, called cross-coordination, gets hardwired into your nervous system. It distributes the load across your spine symmetrically and reduces the sideways twisting force on your trunk with every step. When your arms don't move, but your spine must compensate for that asymmetry by over-rotating in the lower back region, which can trigger pain, especially for people who already have lower back issues. Arm swing also recruits the muscles of the shoulders, chest, and upper back. That means during a walk with proper arm movement, significantly more total muscle mass is active. More active muscle means higher caloric expenditure, better circulation, and a more active metabolism. The exact same distance walked with proper arm swing delivers a stronger physiological effect. How to do it correctly. Bend your elbows slightly, roughly 90 degrees. Allow them to swing forward and back in natural rhythm, opposite to your leg movement. You don't need the exaggerated pumping action of competitive race walkers. Just stop pinning your arm to your body. After a few walks, you will feel the difference almost immediately. We're nearly at the finish line. And if this video has already changed how you think about walking, hit the like button right now. It takes 1 second and it helps us reach more people who need this information. Mistake number 6, walking with your phone in your hand. Today, this is one of the most widespread things we see. People walk and look at a screen, reading messages, scrolling through a feed, and believe they are taking care of their health. They are not. Start with posture. When you look at a phone you are holding in front of you, or worse, down by your waist, your head tilts downward. We already established what that does to the cervical spine. The load on your neck muscles increases 3 to 5 times. Your shoulders round forward, your chest compresses, like your breathing becomes shallow. Everything we discussed about poor posture happens, but now it is actively reinforced and intensified. Now consider safety. After 50, the vestibular system, the balance and orientation system in your inner ear, begins to operate with slightly less precision. Your brain increasingly relies on visual input to maintain balance while walking. When your eyes are on a screen instead of the path ahead, your brain is deprived of its most critical source of spatial information. You stop seeing uneven pavement, curbs, steps, wet surfaces, sudden drops. The risk of a fall rises substantially. A fall after 50 is not just getting up and brushing yourself off. It frequently means a fractured wrist, fractured ribs, or most seriously, a hip fracture, which can mean surgery, extended immobilization, and a lengthy rehabilitation period. The prevention is as simple as it gets. Put the phone in your pocket. If you need audio, music, a podcast, use earbuds. Just keep the screen out of your hands. And one final argument, walking is not just a physical exercise, it is a neurological one. When you walk while paying attention to the road, the sensations in your body, your breathing, your surroundings, you are actively training attention, coordination, and spatial awareness. That is genuine, documented benefit for your brain. When you watch your phone, that benefit disappears entirely. Let a walk be a walk. Mistake number 7, ignoring recovery after walking. Nobody talks about this. The general assumption is that walking is such a light activity that no recovery is required. That assumption is wrong. Start with water. Muscle tissue is 70 to 75% water. Even mild dehydration, a 1 to 2% reduction in your body's fluid stores, measurably reduces muscle elasticity, slows recovery, and increases the risk of cramping. After a walk, drink a glass of water. That is not a sports drink advertisement. That is basic physiology. Now about stretching. During walking, your muscles work in a shortening mode. They contract repeatedly. Without stretching afterward, they remain slightly shortened after you stop. Over time, this accumulates. Muscles become tight and rigid. Joint range of motion decreases and a persistent feeling of stiffness develops. This is most pronounced in the calves, the back of the thighs, and the lower back. 5 minutes of gentle stretching after every walk prevents this entirely. And about rest days. Your body does not adapt during exercise. It adapts during recovery. That is when muscle fibers reinforce themselves, when joints remodel in response to load, when the cardiovascular system restructures to handle the new demands. If you never give your body recovery time, adaptation does not occur. 1 to 2 rest days per week is not laziness. It is the correct protocol. Think of your walk not as an isolated exercise, but as part of a system: movement, water, stretching, rest. Only as a complete system does it produce durable, long-term results. Here is an important observation that ties everything together. All 7 of these mistakes carry different levels of risk depending on your age. The damage caused by poor posture, worn-out shoes, and missing recovery time is 2 to 3 times more serious after 50 than it is at 30. Because the resilience of your joints, blood vessels, and muscles decreases over time. The same mistake your body forgave at 30 without consequence will generate real symptoms at 55. How old are you? Drop your age in the comments right now. We want to know which age group this is hitting closest to home, so we can keep creating content that speaks directly to where you are. Here is your clear, practical takeaway. Here is exactly what to do after watching this. 1. Adopt the slow start rule. The first 3 to 5 minutes of every walk, slow pace only. No exceptions. This costs you 0 additional time. 2. Check your posture right now. Stand up, straighten your spine, draw your head gently upward, release your shoulders, and ease them slightly back. Memorize that feeling. Reproduce it every time you walk out the door. 3. Pick up your walking shoes and look at the soles. If they are unevenly worn, or if you have been walking in them for more than a year consistently, it is time to replace them. 4. Saxendrast. Stop the 1 long walk a week habit. 20 to 30 minutes, 5 to 6 days a week is the target. If that seems like too much, start with 3 days and add 1 day every 2 weeks. 5. Let your arms move. Bend your elbows, relax your shoulders, and allow your arms to swing in natural rhythm. Take them out of your pockets. 6. Phone goes in your pocket for the entire walk. No exceptions. Earbuds for audio, screen out of your hands. 7. After every walk, a glass of water and 5 minutes of stretching. 5 minutes. That is what stands between you and chronic muscle stiffness. Walking is one of the most accessible, safe, and effective tools available for maintaining your health after 50. You don't need a gym. You don't need expensive equipment. You just need the right habits and a conscious approach. Small changes in how you walk produce real, long-term results for your heart, your joints, your brain, and your overall well-being. Here's what we need you to do right now. These are 3 things. 1, tell us in the comments how many of these 7 mistakes were you making. Just type the number. Every comment get read, and we genuinely want to hear from you. 2, share this video on Facebook and tag someone you love who walks regularly. You might be protecting their joints without them even knowing it. 3, subscribe to Health is Golden and turn on your notifications. We post new videos every week, practical, evidence-based health information that the medical system rarely takes the time to explain. Your health deserves that kind of attention. This is Health is Golden. Stay informed, stay active, and walk the right way.